Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Voltron Legendary Defender Metal Defender Lions of Voltron, which contains all 5 Lions of Voltron to combine to make Voltron, and they are all die-cast metal too. Today is a special review not only because this is a non-Transformers review on this channel, but also because this is not something I got for myself. I actually got this as a gift for the lovely Alyssa.
Hi.
Who is here today. And since this is her gift, I am going to let her review this set of figures. So Alyssa, take it away.
Okay, thanks SoundJack for the intro, and hi to everyone. If you have not watched any of the other videos, my name is Alyssa, and I'm going to be doing a toy review. I haven't done this before, so hopefully it sounds good, but let's begin by looking at the packaging. So as you can see, you have up here on the top the logo for Voltron Legendary Defender, and as you can also see, it's in this nice, like, reflective plastic painting thing, whatever. Thank you for the mystical light person. And then as you can also see in the background, and I want to point this out before I move to look at other parts of it because it might get, the lighting might change it, but there are these rainbow stripes that are along the back of it, because the back is like this reflective thing, and all of the colors that you see are also the main colors of the other 4 lions. There's red in there, blue in there, yellow, and green, which I think is a really nice touch. It's really great that they have that color pattern thing going on. So, and as you can see, if you look here, it forms an 8-inch Voltron, which is nice. It's not huge. I know there's another Voltron that's plastic that forms a 16-inch Voltron. So the fact that this is 8 inches is why I'm happy that SoundJack got me this instead of the really large one. And then if we come over here on this side, you can see there's all of the Lions of Voltron. Hold on, the blue one is not in the frame. There we go. And all of them are along the side there. And it looks really nice. Some nice art. And then on this side, we got Voltron himself. And look at him. He looks very ferocious. He looks like he's gonna punch some bad robots in the face. Very nice. And that's what Voltron will look when he's all put together. And then if we come to the back here, we see all of the parts. We see all of the lions as well as their symbols. And we also see, again, that he is 8 inches tall. And then that's what he looks like fully combined. And there's also some bio stuff. Hold on, you can't see that. Wow, there you can see that. And it says, long ago, a mighty robot warrior Voltron was created to protect the galaxy from evil. Now 5 young heroes must master the power of the Voltron Lions to defeat the Galra Empire and restore peace. So that'll probably be in the description below. And then here are all the brief descriptions of all the lions. What's interesting about the packaging is that they don't actually mention who the paladins of the lions are. They just talk about the lions themselves, which is kind of interesting to me. I figured that they would try to connect the characters to the lions as opposed to just talking about the lions. But they do talk about their the things that they're good at. Like, for example, the green lion represents nature, and the yellow lion is the toughest one, and stuff like that. But that will all be in the description. I won't bother going over all of them. And yeah, that's pretty much the packaging. It's very large. Oh, thank you, Mysterious Whisper. You reminded me that there is a bottom of the box, and there's just a logo. It's not as nice as the one at the top, but there it is for your viewing pleasure. Yep, and that should be all of the sides that I could find, unless there's a mysterious, third dimension side that I don't know about. Okay. So now that we've looked at the packaging, we will now cut to we'll cut to it when it's open. And we're back with the 5 Lions of Voltron out of their packaging and here in center frame. So now I'm going to talk about each of the 5 lions from left to right. starting with the red lion, which is Keith's lion. So as you can see, the head of it is mostly white, with some details in the actual mouth. I don't know if you can see that, my thumb's a little bit in the way, but there's a cannon thing in there where the fire would presumably come out of, and there's also some detailing on the bottom, and he also has 4 teeth. There's some yellow for the eyes, as well as some silver on the ears and this little head thing there. The neck also has some details on it and is colored in gray. The main body piece, this piece here, is the die-cast metal, and you can actually see that it's a slightly different color from the bottom red. I don't know if it shows up well on camera, but this is slightly less. This is more red than this is. And then the legs are mostly gray, with the red on the paws, and we also have a little bit of detail. Oh, that's not on camera. A little bit of detail on the claws themselves, and we also have some black on the bottom part, and then the tail is also nicely detailed with like vertebrae on it, and then this nice blue part of it, and there's also this nice yellow bit that stands out amongst the rest of the toy. And that's Keith. Now I'll go to blue here, which is Lance's lion. As you can see, because this is the leg, or one of the leg lines, it's a little bit larger than the arm lines, and I'll bring up the red lion again so you can actually see that. So yeah, you can see that this guy is much bigger than this guy. Actually, hold on. If, the red line will stand for me. There we go. So again, the muzzle is white, but you can also see that there's more blue around it. You have the ear parts are more black, and they look more like ears. You got the same detailing inside the mouth, again, with the laser cannon in there. The big difference is this red collar part, and then the die-cast metal bit is a little bit different shaped. You also have this midsection here that's detailed in the same way that the red lion's neck is, and the legs are detailed a little differently. The notable difference is that this hind leg has this nice silver and black part to it that makes a little bit breakup in the design. And then the tail's the same, and then instead of yellow on the back, it's just metallic silver. And again, the eyes are yellow. Okay, and then we'll bring the big daddy himself, the black lion, who is very detailed. The head is much different, mostly black. We have a little bit of a red nose, and these little gold ears. The ears actually only technically appear in the Voltron form, but because of the way the toy is made, he is shown in the lion mode. And if you open his jaw, you'll see the actual face, but we'll talk more about that in Voltron mode. The shoulders are much larger, and they're all black. We bring up this way, we see Voltron's chest, the blue chest part, the gold, and some of the detailing on the actual chest here, as well as a hip area, crotch area thing that's mostly black. And then on the hind and front legs, gray and black with this silver this black part here. And then of course the wings are a big part of it, so it's mostly red with this nice light blue that complements the blue on the chest. And then of course the tail, which is similar to all the other ones, except it has this cool, arrowhead looking thing. So that's the black lion. Now the rest of the lions, the yellow lion here, which is Hunk's lion, is pretty similar in most of the details to Lance's lion. The only real difference is the head has a little bit of these red parts here, and there's also this the neck piece here is yellow, whereas it's more of a highlight on the blue lion, and everything else is essentially the same. So, and then Pidge's lion is pretty much the same thing as Keith's lion. There's not really all that much different. Again, maybe I can show you on this one. You can see that the die-cast metal part, which is this piece here, is a little different from the base part here. And actually, there's like a curved bit here that's detailed that's a little bit different from Keith's lion, but that's like the only thing on the actual body that's different. The biggest thing, though, is that there's a shield accessory that comes with the toy, and it fits onto the back port here. So Pidge can carry her shield, or the green lion can carry a shield. There's also a back port here for it, but in the line mode it's supposed to fit on this one. So that's her lion. And the inside of the mouth is the same. Okay, so now we're going to look at articulation. And the articulation for the arms, or for the arm lions, the red and the green line is going to be the same, and the articulation for the blue and the yellow line is going to be the same. So I'm only going to look at one of each of those categories. So we'll look at Keith's lion for the arms. So the jaw for the red and green line is spring locked, so it opens, but you can't get it to stay. It'll close as soon as you let it go. The head itself is on a ball joint, so it can rotate a full 360. The neck doesn't move. You have the arms. The arms themselves, the front limbs, are on a cylinder. So if you don't hold them, they actually rotate. They rotate all, well, not all the way around, but they rotate together. You can get them to rotate separately if you hold one and then rotate it. It could go a full 360 if the front part wasn't in the way. The individual joints, there are two individual joints that can move. So the first upper joint can bend that far forward, and if I can get it back, that far back. And then the paw itself can rotate, can go that far up and that far back. I do want to mention that all of the leg joints, except for this joint here on the arm robots, all of the actual individual joints are very stiff, so you might have a little trouble operating them, but I'll point out the ones that are super difficult as we get there. There's some waist articulation for the red and green lion, and it's able to move its waist that much to the right and that much to the left. It also has a rotating swivel, so you can get the red lion to rotate at full 360, but that's more for the for Voltron than it is for the actual red lion. The back legs can rotate full 360-ish if you get things to move out of the way. It's also on a ratchet. And then there are three joints on this one. So there's a joint back here that's behind this piece, and that can rotate. Ugh, it's hard to get it to rotate though. And mostly that's for the transformation, but if you want it to go back, and my phone is ringing. Hold on a second. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, folks. So again, we were talking about this joint back here. So this joint, as I said, moves up in towards the back leg itself, but that's more for the transformation. There's a middle joint here that can rotate that far forward, and 1 second, that far back. And then the paw itself can go that far forward and that far back. So you've got a lot of variety in how you want to pose. And the tail is made out of flexible plastic, so it can bend every which way. And that's going to be the same for all of the limb lions. The only exception is the black lion, and we'll get to that when we get to him. So yeah, that is the arm. And as I said before, that articulation is the same for the green lion, so we won't bring them up. Let's go to the blue lion to show off the leg lion. This will also be all the articulation on this one will be the same for the yellow lion. So the jaw here actually does open and stay open on the blue and yellow lions, so it goes that far up and then you can close. There is some head movement. You can get it to look up that far and then bend that far down. There's no side to side or swivel movement like with the green or the blue or green, the red or green lion. The joint, the plate here has some articulation, but that doesn't really do much for you outside of the Voltron transformation. The neck also has some limited, no it doesn't, I lied, that's not true. So the upper arms can rotate a full 360 because the plates aren't in the way. There are two joints on the upper arm that can move. This joint here can move that far forward and that far back. And the paw can rotate that far forward and that far back. So you've got some good articulation there. There's nothing at the hips or at the waist, but we do have the back legs, and the back legs can rotate could probably rotate full 360 if things were in the way, but for now they rotate, like I said, they could rotate all the way around if the leg was compact. Again, the back leg has 3 joints. There's one behind here. This joint can go that far forward or that far back and then this far forward. Again, that joint's more for the transformation than anything else. There's this joint here that can rotate that far forward, so at like a 90-degree angle, and that far back, that moved, that far back, so like I guess a full 180, and then the paw can rotate, I didn't go first, that far forward, so straight up, and then that far back. So again, pretty articulated. On this lion, this joint here is pretty difficult to move. And like I said, the same thing is the same as the yellow lion. So now we're going to go to the black lion, because this guy has a lot of different articulation. The wings are on these panels here, and if you were to remove this, you could probably get them to go all the way around, but with them on, then they can probably only come out that far. So there's that. The jaw, because of the transformation, is able to completely unhinge and go all the way back to the neck. So you can have the black lion break its own jaw if you want. So there's that. The head itself is able to bend that far forward and look straight down. And again, that's mostly for the transformation, but you can have him look around. The neck itself actually is on a tilt, so it's able to tilt down to come straight out. Again, more for the transformation than anything else, but it's also pretty good for poses. The arms can rotate on a soft ratchet, and they can rotate, if you move the wings out of the way, a full 360, like so. So this one has 3 joints, unlike the other ones. So there's a joint here that's able to bend that far up and that far back. It stops there. Then this joint here is able to rotate that far forward and that far back. Then the paw itself is able to bend that far forward and that far back. The front legs are pretty easy to move. There isn't anything at the waist, but there is some stuff at the legs. So the back legs on this lion, I will say that they are super, super tight. So be warned. The back leg, the tail has articulation. It can wag a bit, but as I said before, unlike with the other lions, this is just all one piece, so it cannot bend back and forth or around. It can only hinge like that. The hind legs can rotate on a very tight ratchet, presumably all the way around, if there wasn't this hip area in the way. But with it in the way, it goes, mostly all the way around. And then there's a thigh swivel at this area, and that's able to rotate a full 360. And then there's this joint here, which is able to bend. This is where, I also forgot to mention, these are on ball joints, so the actual hips are able to angle out, and they're able to angle out that far. And that's, again, more for the Voltron part of it. So this joint is able to bend that far forward and that far out. So it's able to go straight, but it's not able to go anywhere further. And then this joint here is able to bend that far forward and that far back. Not a lot of movement. And then the paws are the real problem. They are super tight, but they're able to bend. They're able to go out straight, and they're able to bend. Oh, you can hear the snaps. That far down, so they're able to go straight. But the feet for this guy are super, super tight. So, and before we move on, one thing I wanted to mention, you'll see here that there's some scuff marks on the paw, and that's because I had some trouble with the actual transformation, and I'll mention that more when we actually get to the transformation, but just be careful, make sure that you're doing it right, otherwise you might end up with some nasty scratches on the back paws here. Alright, and now, once we get Black Lion situated, we will talk about the accessories. So as I said before, the Green Lion has that accessory, but the main accessory is this sword. The sword is more for the Voltron mode, but the green and red lion are able to hold them in their mouths, and that's why they have the spring-loaded jaw, so that they're able to hold it. So you want to get it in between the teeth, and then you can have the red lion bolt rush an enemy with a sword that's too big, a sword that might actually be as long as he is, which he is. Haha. So if you want to do that, you can. But like I said, this sword is mostly for the Voltron mode. Okay, so that is all I'll say about the accessories. So now we're going to go on to size comparisons. Here they all are with Legends class Bumblebee. And the way I said it, looks like Bumblebee's wings. That's fun. So you can see how he scales with them. Can I put him behind? Maybe if I stretch. So he's about this as tall as the Black Lion, including the wings, maybe a little shorter. Then we have Deluxe Class Chrome Dome, so now you can see how he looks with them. And then if I can stand. And then with him. Then we have Voyager Class Megatron. He hulks over them a little bit. You can see my other hand. Oh no. Okay. And then, Leader Class 6 Shot. If I can rotate that back. And so you can see how he scales with them. And he is quite tall in comparison. Alright, so now that we've done that, let's get on to the actual transformation. So the combined form. So first we'll start out with the arms, we're gonna do each of the limbs separately, and then we'll, actually, I lied. I'm sorry guys, I lied to you. We'll start with the black lion since he's the main piece. So the first thing you wanna do is move the wings, in a way that's gonna make it easier for you. And then you're gonna take the tail, you're going to put it up so it's lined up against the back of the lion. And then you're going to open these shoulder panels here, right there. And then you're going to fold the legs, you're gonna fold the paw all the way up, and then you're gonna fold the leg in so that they fit, so that the paw part fits into the compartment, and then you'll know it's all the way in when you can close the panel fully, and this part will show. You're gonna do the same thing on this side. Fold the paw in, then you're gonna fold all the leg in, and then you're gonna close it again. And then you're gonna take the neck, you're going to put it so it's straight, and then you're going to have the head so it's looking straight on. And then you're going to straighten the legs out so that they are straight. And then you're going to, this is the most important part here, you're going to take the leg and straighten each joint out so that the leg is completely straight. You want it to be as straight as humanly possible. That's very important. And the reason for that is so that the legs can go into the legs, so they all fit together. If it's off, then it's gonna cause, again, the scrapage that you see, and you don't want that. And then you're going to flip the jaw out so that Voltron's head is visible. You might need to adjust the head itself so that Voltron's face comes in, but that's that. And then the last thing you're gonna do is you're gonna flip the wings so that they, there's a hinge here that you can flip out, and then you're gonna flip them so that they are spread, like so. Maybe a little further. Yep, okay. So that's the black lion, and we're gonna leave the black lion here for now, and then we're gonna go over to the arms first. So for the arms, first you're gonna do is you're going to take the tail and you're gonna push it into the lion until the end of the tail is the only thing visible. And then you're going to take the hind legs and you're going to fold the paw in and then fold them so that they hide behind the legs. You're gonna do the same thing on this side, same thing on this side, and and then what I would do is I would fold them out this way, and this is so that they're out of the way of this peg here. Then you can flip the peg out. The peg is a little hard to get out. This is not as minor, but I'm doing it now so I don't forget. Then what you're going to do is this assembly here has a hinge, there's a hinge there, and basically it all comes out like this. And what you're gonna do is you're going to fold the legs. I would suggest folding them into their compact form before you put them in, but you're going to fold them up, and then you're going to push the legs together until they snap into place like so. And then you might have to do a little finagling to make sure it all fits together. And then you're going to close it so that the legs fit snugly into this compartment. And then that's an arm. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the green lion. I'm gonna remove the shield, push the tail in. Come on, get in there. Yep, that. I'm going to collapse the legs and push them behind the hind leg plate. Fold them out of the way so that they are out of the way of the arm connect point. You're going to take the panel here and you're going to lift it. Now I don't know, maybe it's just my copy, but I find that the green lion's panel is a little harder to open than the red lion. So you might have some trouble there, but just be careful. You're going to take the legs, collapse them again, hopefully on camera so that people can see. And you're gonna push them in and then click them together. Make sure that you want to make sure that the paw is sitting on the bottom there, and then it'll all collapse together. And that's the other arm. And then next are the feet. So same thing with the other lions. You're gonna push the tail in so that just the bottom bit is showing. Also the same thing with the other lion. You're gonna push the legs, back legs, so that they're behind the back plate, and you're gonna fold them towards the middle of the body so that this plate here is visible, and this is where the feet are going to go. And then you're going to take this metal part here, flip it up, and then you're going to take the head and move it back. You should hear a clicking sound, but that might not be the case with this guy. And then you're going to collapse these legs inward, like so, and you're gonna shift them. Hold on. Woo! Excuse me. Maybe it's easier on this side. You're gonna collapse them so that the paw is parallel with the joint, with the head, because this is gonna make the heel of the foot. So you want to make sure that you actually don't want to bend it that far. So you want to make sure that it sort of makes a triangle, if you can think about it that way. So that it might help for you to like press it on the ground a bit so that you make sure it's stable. There's the leg. Then we're gonna go for the other leg. So same thing. You're gonna push the tail in, like so. You're gonna collapse the legs and rotate them so they're behind the hind leg plates. And you're going to rotate them so that they're facing down towards the middle of the body. You're going to, so for this one's a little different. You're actually gonna push this joint piece here up and fold it out so that there's room for the head. And because the neck's a little longer on the yellow one, you're going to do that, and you're gonna push, and then it should, I thought it collapsed. Oh well. So it's gonna collapse like that. And then the same thing with the legs, you're going to collapse them so that they are the back heels and that they are flush with the ground. And again, you might want to, do some adjusting on the ground to make sure that they are stable. All right, so now we're going to put all the pieces together. I would start with the legs first because the legs are the most difficult. So you want to put the black line into a spread eagle position so that you can get everything out of the way. And then what you're going to do is you're going to, so as you can see, there's this window here that'll fade out. And you see how there's this dip here? That corresponds with the back of the leg. And you see how there's, oh wait, no, you can't see that. You'll see how there's this like part here that comes out. So it's gonna match up with that. So you wanna basically put them in, and it takes a little bit of finagling, but you wanna make sure it goes, hold on, 1 second. You wanna make sure it's real straight. It has to be super straight, super duper straight. You wanna make sure it's like 100% straight. And then it takes some finagling, but you want it to go in, so it should snap into place. I think that's in. Yeah. And you'll know it's in when like the lion doesn't fall apart. You should hear a snap. Oh yeah, see, there is a snap on there. So you want to make sure this line is fully straight in. Okay, and then you want to do the same thing with the yellow line. Again, you want to make sure that the leg, not this leg, that leg is completely straight. Actually, it'll be easier to see on this side. You want to make sure all the joints are as straight as possible. And if it's not getting in correctly, you might need to straighten it. Again, you're gonna take that window, push the leg in. Oop. You want to hold it at the joint too so that it goes in. Oh, Also, you might need some good upper arm strength. I don't have good upper arm strength, so this is difficult for me. Also, I'm always afraid of breaking things, so part of it is that, again, if it's not fitting in correctly, you probably need to straighten it. Oh, come on. Get in there. Ah, yes. You hear that snap? That means that it's in place. So now you have the legs. And you can, let me hold on one second while I make sure he's standing-ish. You might need to move, if he's not standing, it's probably because the back parts of his legs are not firm. Okay. Now we're gonna put on the arms. So the arms are a little easier. By a little, I mean a lot. As you can see you can see this hole here has this little notch there. And so it corresponds with the notch on the arm that is right there. So you want to make sure it matches up with the notch. It's gonna fit in, and it's gonna snap together. Then you rotate so that it's there, and then now you have one arm. And then same thing with the other side. You want to find where the notch is, and that notch is right there on mine, and it'll correspond with the notch here. So then you match it up, and then you turn, and then with a few adjustments, you now have Voltron in its final formation, ready to kick some robot butt. And once we get him standing, I will then go into Voltron. But he is not wanting to cooperate today. Oh, come on. Come on, bud. Is that why you're not? Okay, that'll work for now. Hey, there he is. Okay, so now we're going to, 1 second, I dropped the thing. Okay, now it is, now we're good. We're going to now look at Voltron himself. So most of the stuff that you've seen in the other robot forms, but I want to put some attention on the face is really what I want to focus on, because that I didn't really show off before. But the face is a very serious looking face. There are these dark blue lines and the yellow eyes that correspond with all the other yellow eyes on the other robots. There's also this collar here. And again, the crest is more visible in this form as well as the rest of the chest, because this is the main part that you see. And everything else is essentially the same. So I won't bother showing off all the other pieces because you already saw them in the other modes. Now I'm going to talk about articulation in the robot mode, or in the Voltron mode. So the jaw, I guess, has articulation still. You can move it up and down if you want, but you probably want to keep him standing up here because that's where his face is. His neck, because of the jaw, his neck doesn't have any articulation anymore. Same thing with the head. The head still has articulation. You can have him look up, that far forward. And then again, and if you have him look up, you can have his neck move to look. But again, that's only really there if the head is in the right position. The wings have the same articulation in the other mode. You can, fiddle with them as much as you want. And then there's this hinge here that moves, but that hinge is more for the transformation than anything else. His arms are on joints here, and they can basically move a full 360 if you move stuff out of the way. The arm itself can pivot out that far forward. So if you want him to move back and forth, you can. He has a joint, a swivel. So he has an arm swivel, so you can swivel full 360. He has an elbow joint that goes that far forward. Not very far, unfortunately. Not even a full 90 degrees. And there's that, and then his hands don't really technically have articulation, but again, they're spring locked, so they can go that far out, but they don't stay there. I think that's it for the arm. Yeah, again, there's also that. There's also a, that's the same swivel as before. Yes, okay. Yeah, but if you want him to go in, you want to use the swivel. Now, there's no waist articulation, but there is feet articulation. The feet are able to go that far forward, so you can do some nice gymnastic kicks, or, you know, kick some guy in the face. And they can go that far back, and pretty much at a 90-degree angle. And then his legs can go out that far. Can't do a full split, unfortunately. His knees are pretty flexible. He can kick himself, not in the butt completely, but he can go that far back, so that's past 90 degrees. And he can go, he can only bend his knees forward that much because of the tail is in the way. And he also has thigh swivel, I forgot about that, which can rotate a full 360. He has a little bit of toe articulation with the heads. I should use this one, so they can bend. He can go on point if he wants, and bend that far up. And his heels also technically have articulation, so you can adjust how he's tilting from that. And I believe that's all the articulation I can remember. I might forget something though, so if we do, we'll edit it in post. That's what post is for, right? Okay, and now that I've done all that, before I move on to anything else, accessories. So, Pidge's shield, or the Green Lion shield, also works in Voltron mode. You want to put it, instead of putting it on this post here, you want to put it on that post there. So it fits in like so. So, there's that. And then, I want you to stand, Voltron. And then he also has his sword again, and the sword will fit into the hands, like so. You wanna, it's again a spring lock situation. If I can move it so you can see it, and he goes into the, put it in like so. I'll put it in the Green Lion so that you can see it. And I guess it's actually supposed to, it only works, I guess it's supposed to go in the right lion. Oh, actually, no, if you flip it this way, it works. Ha! I know things. Okay, yeah, so he can wield his sword like so and attack the monsters that surround him. Oops, excuse me. So he's right-handed though in the cartoon. So if you want to be cartoon accurate, you would want him to hold the sword in the red lion hand. But for now, he is holding it in his left hand. Because why not have some left hand representation, right? All right. Now, if he will stand, I will do some size comparisons. But he is being a little difficult with me right now. Come on. Oh, that's why. The heels are... Yeah, so forewarning, the heels can be really difficult. If they're not positioned correctly, Voltron will fall on his face. So you want to make sure that they're nice and flat. I think that works. Right? No, you're going to fall. Don't fall. Come on. 1 second, guys. As you can see, it's just hard. No. No. Stay. Good lion. Good job. Okay. Wait. Alright, now we can go for some size comparisons. Finally. Here he is with Legends Class Bumblebee. And as you can see, Bumblebee comes up to the red lion's, or the lion's head, and I guess his knees abouts. We have Deluxe Class Chrome Dome. Not Chrome Dome, he's Chrome Dome. I misspoke, sorry. And he comes up about to a little below his elbows and just about to his waist. Then we have Voyager Class Megatron, otherwise known in my head as Leader Class Megatron. He'll always be Leader Class in my heart, guys. And he comes up to like the chest plate-ish, almost near the neck. I guess if we're counting the tank nozzle here, he is almost as tall as Voltron. And then what? Leader Class 6-shot, who is not standing straight like he should be. Or maybe he is, and he just has a hunch. I don't know, man. Come on, boy. Look up. Oh, no! Hold on 1 second. You can tell that I'm not as familiar with these toys. Stand up straight. Come on. Nice photo. There we go. See, 6-shot? All you gotta do is just stand up straight and you look nice. Oh, you're not even. There we are. And as you can see, 6-shot is taller by the head. And Voltron comes up to the bottom of his wheels and around where his head is. So you can see how he scales with them. 1 second while I put this back. Okay. Nothing fell. Whoa! Sorry. Okay, and so that's it on Voltron. I have to say I really like this toy. Now that I've actually had some time with it and know where all of the joints are, it makes things a lot easier. I will say he is very tight. The joints are all real tight. You might need to put some force onto the joints in order to make them work. And that makes it a little bit difficult to position him into poses because his joints are so tight. But once you finagle with it a little bit, I think he's a good toy. And I think he also is a good representation of the cartoon. So if you're a big fan of Voltron, definitely pick this up. It's also a pretty reasonable size, especially since there's another toy that's like 16 inches long. That is a little too big for me, but this one is just the right size, and I'm very happy with it. And so that's all I have to say on Voltron. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video, and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow SoundJack on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on his Patreon page to help support the channel. All the links will be in the description below. Thank you for tuning in. This is Alyssa signing off.